Hi guys, and welcome back to UKFlyFisher. I hope you've had a great year. It's been a bit of a difficult one for us, but we're looking forward to 2022 and we're going to start it off with a brand new video today. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you something that's going to sound crazy. You're going to think I'm losing the plot, but once you listen to the video and follow the points, you'll understand why we're doing it and how it'll catch you more fish. And that is, we're going to swap down to a single fly box for 2022. Now, it's something I've been experimenting with for the last 3 years, and I had an email recently that really made me want to go and do the video. The email reads, "Hi Gareth, after having the pleasure of fishing with you on 3 occasions and watching your YouTube videos for a while now, something that always amazes me is you consistently catch fish but only bring 1 fly box with you. I've been hoping to bump into you to ask the question, what is the reasoning behind a single fly box? How do you know what flies to put in there? And would you advise this to a new angler just starting out fly fishing? I appreciate everything you do for the sport. Keep up the good work, Kevin." Well, Kevin, thank you for your email, and hopefully I'll be able to answer that for you in today's video. So as Kevin's mentioned in the videos there, I do usually use a single fly box, whether it's one of our own creations or you will have seen me using the Full and Mill ones or the Witchwood ones. I'd also like to bring your attention to the new Tacky Double Haul by Fish Pond. This box is just incredible, as you can see here. Holds so many flies. I believe it says 280 something, but for a UK still water angler, this is going to hold well over 200 flies for you. You won't get up to the 280 because you're going to want some lures, some bigger flies, maybe some apps worms in here. But it is going to hold more flies than you'll ever need on a single day. Today we're going to go over the main reasons why we would switch down to a single fly box and how that's going to help you catch more fish. Now I'm going to break today up into 6 sections, and we're going to start at number 6 with it allows you to be more mobile. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this point because it's something I'm going to look at in a future video about how travelling light can help you catch more fish, but there could be some huge benefits with doing this. By slimming down your fly collection to just 1 fly box, it allows you to declutter, move around more freely, and in turn cover more fish. This means you spend less time rummaging through your backpack and more time fishing, and as a result, you're going to end up with more fish on the bank. That brings us nicely on to number 5, which is a short and sweet one. That is, we're going to spend less time changing flies and more time fishing. Now this is a given. If you've got less flies to choose from, you're not going to be spending as much time rummaging around in your bag and your boxes to find that fly you want to put on next. And you're going to spend more time with your flies in the water. In turn, that means you're going to be covering more fish and have more chance of catching a few extra fish on each day. This adds up over the course of a season and allows you to catch more fish than you normally would. Now, number 4 is it breeds creativity. Now, this is a key point and one I've seen very effectively work in person. So we were struggling one day at Lechlade and Tim decided to put on a apps worm on the point fly and a Viva Cruncher on the dropper. Now these are 2 flies he knows work very well individually, but it's forced him on a day, because nothing was working, to put them in a team of flies, and then he continued to catch fish after fish, so much so that he went on to a second ticket and he caught some really nice fish and a few doubles in amongst the 6 fish he landed. So obviously we had to go out and prove it again and again. So the next couple of trips we went on, Tim used this combination and was very successful with it. The day that sticks in my mind and I remember the most is a day at Elladine Lakes where it was a hard day. People were catching, but they weren't catching many. I think I was 3rd on that day with 6 fish. Most people were catching between 2 and 4 fish. And Tim had 26 fish on this one combination. So much so that a couple of the England internationals there were fishing 3 foot away from him, casting into his swim just to try and find out what flies he had on, why he was the only one catching. And it's that creativity that leads to new flies, new creations, new combinations of flies, and that's how we improve as anglers. Now, number 3 is, for me, probably the main takeaway from today's video, and it's something that I'm going to try and drill home a lot this year. It eliminates flies that work on their day. How many times have you gone to a fishery, an angler's been fishing away, he hasn't caught anything, and he goes, "I don't understand, this fly's usually amazing. On its day, it'll catch me 16 fish." And you ask him when that day was, and it was a day 2 years ago where he's had a really good day, he's caught 16, and he uses it ever since, and it's not really performing as well as it did on that one day. Now, the reason behind this is on that one day, everything has come together to make that fly work. So it could be the temperature, the fish are on the feed, the fly he's using looks like something they're eating, the fishery was stocked a few days before. Everything has come together to give him that one great day, that one great memory. And unfortunately, as anglers, we're all guilty of it. That one great memory will often cloud our judgment, and we will hold that fly in much higher regard to a fly that's consistently caught us 6, 7, 8 fish every time we've gone out, because that one day we had 16 fish. Now, if we can get out of that habit of using flies that work on their day and get into the habit of using flies that work more often than not, we're going to come up with a fly box of flies that are simply deadly. It's going to be hard not to catch rather than hard to catch on the difficult days, because we've got flies that we understand, we know that work more often than not, and we know how to fish them. So an easy way to look at this, and something you've probably seen on one of Reese's recent videos, is these two flies. So you will have seen this fly here on his video, which is the hothead blue flash damsel, and here is my creation, the rainbow flash damsel. Now, they're very similar flies, but this works on its day. As Reese said in the video, it's a stocky bashing fly, so if it's just been stocked, this fly will catch you plenty of fish. There's nothing wrong with it. But once it gets to day 4, 5, 6 after stocking, and you've got to remember, some of these fisheries don't stock for 2, 3, even 6 weeks at a time. So this fly will soon go off, whereas this fly will catch consistently. It's the rainbow flash damsel, taking it all over the UK, and days and weeks after stocking, this fly will still be consistent. And it's getting into the habit of choosing the more often than not flies, so the 8, 9, 10 times out of 10 it's going to work, rather than the 3, 4, 5 times out of 10 after a stocking. And it's getting rid of these flies and putting these flies in your box instead. That's going to help you catch more fish in 2022. So point number 2, following on from point number 3, is it eliminates doubt and improves mental performance. Now, as anglers, this is something we don't really recognise or look into enough, and it's something that a lot of sports all over the world are really homing into now, and that is how your mental mind, your state of mind, affects how you fish. In this case, by decreasing the flies that work on their day and flies that have caught us in the past, or brand new flies that we haven't really got any idea how to fish, and sticking to those flies that have been consistent catches for us, we're eliminating that doubt, and that's only going to increase to a more positive state of mind. This confidence in our flies is going to allow us to catch more fish throughout the season. As we continue to narrow our fly selection down, we're going to learn when, the how, the what and the why we're fishing these flies, which again is just going to increase confidence, increase your catch rate, and it's a big learning circle. The more we learn about our flies and the better able we become to choose what fly and when to fish it, the more confidence we have, the more fish we land, and the better an angler we will become. And that brings me on to number 1. And if you can start to understand this and put it into practice, you're going to become a better angler for 2022. It encourages you to fish your flies correctly. So we've all been in that situation where we're fishing next to an angler, he gives you the fly that's working and you fail to catch on it. And now the reason behind that is that that angler has studied that fly, he knows what retrieve to use, where to fish it, where to aim, and how to get the best results on that fly. You've just stuck it on and assumed that you're going to have the same success he has, even though he may have put weeks, months, years into learning how to fish this fly. And it's only by slimming down your selection and giving yourself time to learn how to fish all of these flies that you're going to become more successful on the flies you choose and understand how they work. Now, hopefully you can see that this video is all about creating a small, slimline selection of flies that catch you more often than not. And by doing so, you're going to catch more fish. And nowhere has that been more evidential to me than with an angler we fish with regularly, Lee Ashcroft. And over the last few years, he's really narrowed his selection down. Black snake, hothead damsel, gelback, yellow blob, and there's a few other flies he uses. It's about 6 to 8 flies he'll switch between. I can remember a trip to North Wales, we all went up there, it was a boiling hot day, it was hard, none of us had been there before, so we didn't quite know what to expect. I think I came second on the first day with 6 fish. Lee had 26 fish. He made us all look stupid, he knew exactly what he was doing, and he had such a slim line selection of flies and he knew exactly how to fish them, that he just turned up, did his thing, and he just kept catching consistently all day. And it's really hit home to me how important that narrowing that fly selection down, learning how to fish the individual flies, and really understanding what's in your fly box. It can have a big difference on your catch rate. And I hope you all take on the challenge. I hope you all slim down, Try and take out one fly box next time you go and set yourself that challenge of learning the flies in that fly box and catching on them flies. If there's anything you haven't understood, make sure to ask me in the comments. I'm not the best speaker in the world, but I do try my best. But obviously, if anything's confused you, just leave a comment below and I'll answer every single one. Hopefully you've enjoyed all the videos from this year. Unfortunately, there hasn't been many due to my personal situation, but that's all under control now, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And next year's going to be a good one. We're going to be looking at bringing out 2 videos a week, and hopefully you enjoy that new format. I'd like to wish you all a happy New Year's, and I'll see you in the next episode.